Seeks readers, it's Juliana here, and I am so excited to tell you about a new story. Earlier in the week, we wrote about the boy I met at Starbucks and gave my bagel to, and over a random series of events, this is his beautiful mother, and she's going to tell the story of how we got into contact with one another, and it was super random, and our town isn't super big, but it's big enough to where this was totally, I believe, an appointment from God, and both an encouragement for myself and for her son and for you, mostly as a mother. So how about tell us a little bit about how you found out about the story?
Well, I was at a Bible study Wednesday morning at a lady who reads your blog, and I was there that morning, and they were discussing it, whether they should tell me or not. And one of the girls did. She called me and said I should read it, and I did. And the next day, while I was standing in my kitchen making dinner, I was just thinking about that, and it just was overwhelming emotion that my child was out there, and somebody fed my child because he was hungry. I wasn't sure at the time it was my child, but I put myself in place, and I just thought if it was, she fed him. That was so neat. So that's when I decided I emailed your mom to get you the information, just to say thank you, that if it was him, and if it wasn't, that somebody's mother appreciated that I attached a picture of Kyle, and then she forwarded it to you and said it was you, and it was him. And I think the reason I had thought it was him is because when in your story you wrote about his lip ring, and that's what, for some reason, I just thought it's got to be him. Because how many kids are out there begging for food to have lip rings? So
right, it was crazy. And Debbie had sent me an email and said, I read your story, and I'm just attaching a picture of my son, and for you to just to see if it's him or not. And I was actually watching. I was at a basketball game that Tyson was playing at, my husband, and I remember scrolling down to find the picture, and I saw it was him, and I just burst into tears, at how random it was, that this was the same kid, and I will never forget his face. All of our readers are 20-something-year-old girls, so or most of them are, and so they're in that phase of maybe some of them have children, maybe they're in college or working through school or just married. So as a mom, how could you encourage them to push forward in their compassion for other people?
I look at everybody now, and especially kids out on the street, and with a different view. There's something behind why they're out there. We don't always know, and especially when they're still teenagers, they're growing and they're trying to figure life out. And I think they get. I think the enemy lies to them, and they believe they lose the battle. Basically, is what it is, and that's how I see it. And I've just been praying, and I know God hears, He sees, and I've been praying for him, and He was taking care of him. He uses other people to do it too, and He used you that morning. And in fact, when I did see him later, I asked him about that, and said, do you remember somebody giving you a bagel at Starbucks? He says, oh yeah, that was so cool. So it was etched in his mind. He really remembered it because he was really hungry that morning, and he right now is back home, and he's stayed there he's been there for 5 days and hasn't left yet.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's been peaceful in the house. There, just the anger has dissipated. He seems to really enjoy being there. But before, he'd always say, I don't want to be here. And now he's good. He's okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. I know everybody's going to be super blessed to hear the ending to a story that we didn't ever know that we were going to know the ending to.